expecting one. But yes, I mean, obviously the conversation at the moment seems to be that it's all with Bray Wyatt. I kind of feel like the days of throwing around other names have kind of started to really fade into the past now. I don't know, that third clue in particular was very Bray heavy. And yeah, this is where we are. I mean, I'm literally at the point where I'm expecting Bray, just waiting for Bray. I must admit, I would really enjoy it if the clue today threw up some doubt, threw up a bit of a different name, and kind of took us down a bit of a different path. I think that would be fun. I think one of the things that I've really enjoyed about White Rabbit is the fact that there has been clues to other people, and there has been a way of having a conversation. I think some of these things in the past have been ruined quite quickly or solved quite quickly. And obviously this was very Bray from the start. You know, no, I don't think anyone watched this and saw this unfold and didn't think of Bray. So it's been very Bray from the start, but there's been clues pointing to other people. And so yeah, that's kind of kept things fresh and interesting. And it would be nice if there was just something tonight that I think just kind of put a bit of doubt in there. Obviously, ultimately, I hope it turns out to be Bray, but it would kind of be nice to, you know, the problem is everyone, I'm getting the vibe I'm getting is that people are now starting to go, okay, it's Bray, when's he coming? Like, that's very much, that's where the conversation seems to be now. Like, it's Bray, when do you think he's going to debut? Is he going to be the Fiend? Like, it seems like people have completely accepted it. I'm really not seeing many people, any people, saying that they think it's someone different. So my concern would be that obviously we're quite close to Extreme Rules now, so it's not the biggest problem in the world. But you don't want people getting like impatient or bored or things along those lines. You know, you want people to be enjoying the journey, enjoying the process, and people are still doing that, and people will still do that tonight. But yeah, just you know, you don't want to see this thing outstay its welcome. You don't want to see this thing all of a sudden people start going sour on it. You don't want to see this thing become stale or anything like that. I don't think it's going to have time to do any of those things if the reveal is going to be at Extreme Rules. If the reveal is going to be Extreme Rules, then I think we're absolutely fine. But yeah, just an observation. Shout out to John Swinnon. Appreciate the support, my friend. John Swinnon, shout out to you. Austin said people do get bored easily. There will always be people like that. That's true. But there will come a point where more and more people start becoming bored. And I don't know that it's necessarily a period of time. I don't know that you can sit there and say, okay, 3 weeks. Doesn't matter what you do, but after 3 weeks, people will be bored. I'm not sure that's true. I think it's probably more likely that people will get bored once they think they figured it out. Once this thing is solved, then, you know, and everyone's like in agreement, then that is when, you know, you start doing more clues. People will start, you know, of course, still reading into them, but that's where you might start running the risk of people starting to go, okay, yeah, we've done this now. This part of the journey is complete, if you will. We don't need any more teasers. We know who it is. So, yeah, that's the concern. This third clue has definitely snapped Bray fully into focus. And I think if tonight just kind of like confirms it, then thankfully there's only a week. There's only a week, and that'll be absolutely fine. I suppose my point was, if this was still running for, say, another 3 weeks, I think you would definitely see people starting to get tired of this, because I think, you know, the general consensus is it's Bray. Right, before I jump into the chat, I've got a couple of things to do. So, Sam got in touch with me on a DM, and I've literally only just seen it, but I did want to just raise it up and mention it. So, Sam Bellissimo says that he normally watches wrestling with his, hang on, let's click on this. I normally watch wrestling, with his dog, but his dog passed away unexpectedly. So heartbreaking news for any of you that are like got pets, lovers of animals. You'll know how hard that is. So Roxy was Sam's name. So he says, can I dedicate the stream to Roxy? And I'm more than happy to do that. So yeah, awful. So Sam, I don't know if you are watching. I don't know if he's planning on joining later, but a massive shout out to him because that's awful news. Sam has been in our community for a long time. So that's difficult news. So Sam, shout out to you, buds. Mitchell says, look for some wrestlers who live in Florida. Oh, we need to talk about Florida as well. We'll do that in a sec. To possibly miss tonight due to the storm. Airports have been closed. Other than specialty first responder supply fights and a major hub, Atlanta is delayed. Yeah, great shout, Mitchell. Mitchell, shout out to you. Appreciate the support as always. Florida. I hope everyone is safe in Florida. Details are, well, from what I've seen, quite sketchy as to the impact. It seems like it's been horrific. No numbers really on fatalities that I've seen. Obviously, you want them to be as low as possible. But at the moment, they're saying that it's about 21. So that's jumped up, actually. But they're saying they still don't know the exact figures. And obviously, President Biden said that it looked like it was going to be one of the worst storms in Florida's history. So, oh my God, just awful news everywhere at the moment. But I hope everyone is safe. There's obviously a lot of people that watch these streams that are in Florida as well. Florida, a real hotbed for wrestling. And that's obviously where NXT is based. That's where that's AEW's home. I mean, Jacksonville Jaguars and Jacksonville, that's very much what I see as the home of AEW. And as we said, NXT based in Orlando, Florida. So, there's a lot of wrestlers and a lot of talent that have got homes in Florida. That's very much a base for WWE. So, yeah, just awful. So, yeah, big wrestling state, Florida. So I know many people that watch us live there. So I hope everyone is safe and well. So, Mitchell, shout out to you. Appreciate the support. Hayden, hello. Hope you're well, Hayden. Shout out to you as well. Hayden from New Zealand. Hasib said, I want to get your take on the Randy situation with reports doing the rounds that WWE officials are worried about him. Do you think his last appearance is the last we see him wrestling? I honestly don't know. I mean, the reports that they are concerned about him don't really go into like the greatest of detail. Well, certainly not the ones that I've seen. So, let me just have a look, see if I've got a different report. There's one here from Wrestling Inc. So, sent video congratulating Cena. Reason not being on TV is dealing with a major back injury. Dave Meltzer says there is concern about his back injury and the severity. Orton's finishing move, RKO, requires Orton to jump and grab the opponent's neck, bring them down whilst landing on his back. I mean, that's it. Yeah. Okay. So even that one's the same as what I can't remember who I read it from, to be honest. But it looks like it's just actually, to be honest, I think this news is from Meltzer. So I think it's the same story everywhere. Do I think we've seen the last of Orton? I mean, look, there's no way of knowing because we don't know how severe it is. I think that the severity of this isn't the biggest of surprises. If you think back to when Riddle actually spoke about Randy, and do you remember they did this kind of brawl? Do you remember the Usos attacked RK Bro? And I'm pretty sure it was just after that. I mean, literally that meant that, we didn't see him again. And I remember Riddle coming out, and Riddle is all like, hey, bro, it was very much like that. Obviously, we've not seen that so much from Riddle during this Seth Rollins feud. But at the time, he was very, hey, bro, and very, away with the fairies. Well, I remember him coming out and opening Raw and doing a promo. I think it was Raw or SmackDown. He came out and spoke about like Randy's injury, and he was borderline crying. Like he was like borderline tears in his eyes, very emotional. And I remember him like looking down the camera and talking down the camera to Randy, saying that, like, you know, we're with you and all this kind of stuff. And I remember it being very heavy. I remember it being very heavy. I remember it being very intense. I remember it being very emotional. And I remember thinking at the time, this is either Matt Riddle really laying it on thick for some reason, like they're going to build towards a surprise Randy return very soon. Like, we all think it's the worst, but oh my God, look at this. Next week, here's Randy. Or this is a very, very serious injury. And sadly, it seems like it is more that. It does seem like it's a very serious injury. So I don't doubt the news that's come out. I think it is severe. I think there's potential that it could be the last that we see of Randy Orton, just judging by the reaction that we got from Riddle, how long it's been. Now we're getting this news, you know, all this. I mean, it's been months. All this time later, now Dave Meltzer's coming out saying they're concerned now. I mean, now after months, they're concerned. So, I mean, look at his age, which, you know, he's not an old man, but in wrestling terms, you're certainly on the back nine. Do you know what I mean? You're not just starting the round of golf, are you, at his age? 20-year career. In many ways, you could say he's on the 18th hole. You could say that he's almost done. But yeah, I think that there's a chance. But the one thing about wrestlers and wrestling, you always seem to get these stories of people coming back. So do I think we've seen his last match? I'm going to lean towards no, just because I think there's every chance we see Paige wrestle again. We've seen Sting wrestle again. We've seen Daniel Bryan wrestle again. We've seen Edge wrestle again. So we've seen all of these people that have gone away due to very serious injuries come back and wrestle again. So I think there's probably a chance that we do see Orton wrestle again. But, I mean, look, is he going to be able to come back and do a full schedule? Maybe not. I mean, really, maybe not. Maybe Randy Orton's, like, you know, proper runs are done. And all we've got now is going to be that reduced Undertaker once a year at WrestleMania type schedules, which I've got to think he's got at least one more in him. Unless it's so bad that it's like if you wrestle one more, you're paralyzed type situation. I've got to think that he's got one more. You know that if they can get one more out of him, they would give him a proper send-off. But we'll have to wait and see. I think it's impossible to know, isn't it? But I don't dispute for 1 second that story's true and that it could be the end of the road for him. But no way of knowing. No way of knowing is unfortunately the answer. Back on time. Bacon time. That's it. Boom. Bacon time. 1234 said, I love you, Days. WWE needs to sign Bandido. Okay. If you did, I'd put him in NXT. I wouldn't put him onto the main roster straight away. I think he needs to be introduced to people. I don't think that he got the biggest reaction on AEW, but I mean, look, he's someone that's been around for a long, long time. He certainly knows his way around a wrestling ring. He could come in and be, an interesting character to bring in, definitely. So I think you could do a few things with him. But I think you'd need to bring him into NXT first and like introduce him to like the WWE audience. Because honestly, the AEW audience, who are, I don't mean this offensively, but dare I say a little smarter in regards to what's out there. I feel like a lot of people that watch WWE just watch WWE. Like that's all they consume. Whereas I think with AEW, I don't think it's unfair to say a good chunk of them are watching MLW, certainly New Japan. Maybe some are watching Impact and have been made to watch Impact as well because there's been a lot of crossover as well. So I think, and obviously Ring of Honor is part of AEW now, and a lot of those people probably watched Ring of Honor So I feel like those wrestling fans for AEW watch a lot more variety and a lot more different companies. I don't think that's true with WWE. I think WWE has got a real core young kids demographic, which they're just getting into wrestling basically. That WWE is kind of, for many people, how they get into wrestling, and then their journey kind of goes from there. So, yeah, someone like Bandido is just not going to be on people's radars. So, yeah, NXT, introduce him, get him across. You don't put him in NXT to really learn how to wrestle, but maybe, you've got to just give him a few WWE tips, like how to wrestle the WWE way, whatever that is now. I mean, we know what that was under Vince, but what is that under Triple H? So, yeah. Interesting. Never thought about that. But Bacon Time, 1, 2, 3, 4. Appreciate it. Delwyn said, evening. Are you doing a live stream for Extreme Rules? Yes, I believe yes. The match card looks exciting. You should be fine after the boxing is finished. Main event starts at 10. So my plan at the moment is Extreme Rules and Ben Eubank just before. So Ben Eubank, massive fight here in the UK. That would never get in the way of Extreme Rules. I mean, Extreme Rules is bigger than Ben Eubank for us. Ben Eubank's going to be big. I mean, they've been on like breakfast TV and everything with it. It's definitely being billed as, this massive fight here in the UK. I don't actually know how much intrigue there is around the world for Ben Eubank. So internationally, I'm not sure how big it is, but certainly here in the UK, it's big. But no, I would always prioritize. If they were going head-to-head, Extreme Rules would be what we would stream. And I think it's just a fight night that night for UFC. Again, UFC, like big pay-per-views are normally a problem, but there isn't one next weekend. So at least I don't think so. So, at the moment, Extreme Rules. Edward said, as I turned 18 on Monday, I went to a pub, I had a drink, I ended up getting drunk and carried home, says Edward. Sounds like a good night. We've all been there. Carl said, I'm going to a live event the night after Extreme Rules. The main event is currently Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle. Matches tonight as well. We've got Ricochet and Madcap Moss taking on Sami Zayn and Solo Sikoa. So that was obviously made last week. We've also got Shotzi taking on Bayley. I'm sure we're going to get something between Ronda and Liv. I'm sure there'll be something there. I'm sure there'll be something between Carrion and Drew. I don't think there's any plans for Roman. I can't remember seeing Roman being announced for tonight, so I don't think there's Roman. But as we said, we are getting Sami and Solo. So we have got those guys. So the bloodline will be represented. It looks all right. It doesn't look like the strongest episode of SmackDown I've ever seen. But obviously tonight's all about White Rabbit. Days, does it annoy you how people... Does it annoy you how people ask who White Rabbit is instead of who is it leading you to, says Sir Butler? No, to be honest, I'm quite open to any and all theories. I mean, White Rabbit is something that Alice followed. So, I think it's absolutely fair to think that we are following White Rabbit to something. But equally, I don't think that it's unreasonable for people to think that White Rabbit is going to be somebody. I mean, in many ways, White Rabbit is going to be someone. Like, who is behind the White Rabbit mystery? They might not be called White Rabbit. They might not even use the White Rabbit track when they actually arrive, and their gimmick might have nothing to do with Alice in Wonderland, but someone is behind these vignettes. Someone has created and is responsible for these. So I suppose in a way, when people say, who do you think is White Rabbit? In my mind, they're more saying, who do you think is behind White Rabbit? Who do you think is responsible for doing the White Rabbit stuff, rather than who do you think's going to be dressed as a rabbit when they finally arrive, kind of a thing, Not that they would be dressed as a rabbit, but you get my point. And don't forget, at first, a lot of people thought that this was Carrion because of the fact that his name in Lucha Underground was White Rabbit. So, we've kind of really been on a journey with this. There's nothing. The only thing that annoys me about people and White Rabbit is when people tell me 100% who it is, and there is zero way they can know 100% who it is. No one knows 100% who this is. Not even the superstars that work there know 100% who this is. You can have a real strong feeling that it's Bray, and you can say that it's been Bray from the very beginning, but you can't know 100% who this is. So that's the only thing that just like, kind of like, I know 100%. Well, you don't actually know. No, if like no one actually knows apart from Triple H, the person that it is, maybe one other person or a few other people, but even the talent backstage don't know. But as we've kind of been on this journey, the likelihood of it being certain people has been increasing and falling and whatever. So, the likely chances that it does turn out to be Bray. Austin said it's 100% me. Dakota said Cody versus Roman for the title. What do you think about that? Cody versus Roman. Yep, I haven't got a problem with it. I don't know that we get it. I suppose we could. It's one of the matches that's an option. Let's put it that way. I think that we'll get Roman and The Rock. I think that's a match that they've wanted to do for a long, long time. We've been talking about that for years and years. So I have to think they've sat down with The Rock, found a date, and then just built towards that. My feeling is that they sat down with The Rock at some point and said, when do we do you and Roman? He has given them a date and they've booked it and we're working towards it. And I think that's next year's WrestleMania. So I think next year's WrestleMania, if it doesn't happen at next year's WrestleMania, I seriously don't know if it's going to happen. Because like the way you would do it is you would sit down with The Rock and say, we want to do this match. Like and we want to do it at WrestleMania, of course. Tell us a WrestleMania when you're free. And so, that's how you'd negotiate it. And that's a starting point. If it doesn't happen at this WrestleMania, which is in Hollywood, I mean, I don't know. I seriously don't know. I don't know if they'll like do it the next year, whatever. But why can't they do it next year? I remember Paul Heyman saying, because there was rumors it was going to be at this year's WrestleMania. And I remember Paul Heyman saying, don't get your hopes up for that, basically. Doesn't make any sense to do it like this year. Does it not make more sense to do it in Hollywood? And I kind of read that as him saying, wink, wink, Hollywood, yeah? Does it not make more sense to do it in Hollywood? So if it's not going to happen at next year's WrestleMania, which is in Hollywood, then I haven't got a flipping clue. So I think that Roman will have the Universal for that. I don't think he'll drop the Universal because to get to 1,000 days, and we're so close to that now, why would we not do that? I mean, we're so close. It's like next May. Right now, it's coming up to October. And I know May seems like a long way away, but if you think that pretty much the first part of next year, between January and April, that is the build to WrestleMania. So, that's fine. The build to WrestleMania. And plus, Roman against The Rock. You don't need the title in it, but you can have it. It's not going to hurt it, is it? Put the belt on the line. And I don't think that Rock's winning that. No way. I don't think Rock wins that. Rock, if he's coming back for one match. Unless they want to swerve us and have him win the title and then drop it at the next pay-per-view. And he's actually doing 2 matches. But why would we do that? Why would we have Rock be the one to beat Roman? Why would we do that? Like, Rock is as big as he's ever going to be. The Rock doesn't become any bigger by beating Roman Reigns. So I feel like we need to give it to someone else and they will be bigger. So, Cody's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. But I think once we get past WrestleMania, if that is the plan, Once we get past that, then there's so many people, so many options. You can do Cody, you could do Seth, you could do Finn Balor's meant to have a massive push next year. You could do Bron Breakker could be called up. You know, if you call up Bron in early 2023, by the time you get into like the summer, that good 6 months, 6 months of Bron Breakker on the main roster, you could repeat what they did with Brock Lesnar. You know, you could push him to the moon real quick and get the belt on him. So I would say that was unlikely, but we have done it before. So, you know, Braun, obviously Carrion, obviously Drew. I mean, there's just tons of options. Bray, if Bray's on the verge of coming back, Bray could be the one that gets the title off Roman. So that's one of the hardest questions. Who is beating Roman for the Universal? I find that hard to answer. I actually think it probably won't be Cody. And the reason why I say that is because I think Cody will win the WWE title at WrestleMania. I think that they'll do, say, Cody versus Seth. Seth will somehow get the WWE Championship. And then you do Cody versus Seth at WrestleMania. You do Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania for the Universal. And I think that Seth loses the title to Cody, and it goes that way. Let's scroll up. Okay, next one. David Paul said, I don't know if you know this, but Tony Khan announced that the next Dynamite will have an extra 15 minutes added. Okay. Okay. I'm not crazy about that. I don't like overruns. I'm really not a fan of overruns. I don't think wrestling shows, by and large, are so fantastic on a weekly basis that we are demanding an extra segment, extra 15 minutes. I actually tend to finish a lot of wrestling shows, be it Raw, be it SmackDown, be it Dynamite, be it NXT. And I, you know, if you look at the scores, a lot of scores are like 7 and stuff like that, 7.5. And there's things that you can chop out of them. Like, I never finish them thinking like, oh, I wish I had another 15 minutes of that. Rarely do I think that. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of overruns personally. It's just a money grab. It's just a way of getting extra ad revenue. So overruns, that to me is just better for them. That's better for them than it is for us. I mean, you know, as extra wrestling, I mean, I suppose no one's going to be down on it, but I just always think like, why give me 15 minutes extra? Why not just cut 15 minutes of rubbish from the show? Because trust me, if you want me to find it, I'll find it. We can find it. 15 minutes of rubbish in most shows. And if this 15 minutes is so essential, I'll cut 15 minutes from your show and find 15 minutes. That is no problem. Trust me, I'll find half an hour at the very least. So we can fit this 15 minutes in. So yeah, don't know, not crazy about that. Thomas Morehouse said, can we get a one-off appearance for Mania Hollywood? Could we get a one-off appearance for Mania Hollywood? What, for The Rock? Could we get a one-off appearance for The Rock? I mean, I believe so, yes. I think that if you're going to get The Rock for Mania in Hollywood, you do what we said, and that is you go up to him, you say, what year are you free? Like what's your filming schedule like? What projects have you got coming up and everything? When do you think you're going to be available? He gives you a date. Hard, difficult to do, but you know, he gives you a date, even if it's a penciled in date. You then put that in and you try and stick to it, and he tries to stick to it. And look, if Marvel come along and go, we want you to be flipping Thor's, you know, more powerful brother, and we're going to give you this massive, whatever, you know, film franchise. I mean, I could understand The Rock having a tough decision. Then do I do this one-off WrestleMania show, or do I become Thor's more powerful brother? So, you know, it's going to be difficult, isn't it? There's going to be projects that come up, once in a lifetime opportunities for him to work with certain directors on certain projects and whatever. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. But I think what you do is you put a date in, you pencil it in. He then does his very best to ensure that he keeps that free and, you know, turns down minor projects, even, fairly major ones. The only problem is if something really unmissable comes along, and then what do you do then? Then you've got a real problem. There's not really much you can do. And that's the problem The Rock's got. He's so in demand, isn't he? So in demand. So, I think this is going to be a challenge, but I'm feeling pretty good that they'll have it lined up. And I think that we've waited a long time for it. So hopefully all those big juicy roles have kind of settled down a little bit. I think he's done a lot of stuff. And who knows, maybe he can continue to do like films at that rate and all these big projects. Maybe he's still as in demand as he always was. But God, just give me one WrestleMania. That's all I'm asking for. I'm only asking for one day. I don't even care if the match is rubbish. Just one day. Like, I know you've got to train. Just do it when you're, I don't know, just meant to be asleep or something. I just want one WrestleMania. Michael said, could we see an unbeatable stable with no leader like Bray, Aleister Black, Bo Dallas, and Alexa? I don't think so. I think if Bray's in a group, is going to be the leader of it at very least. So the question then would be, will we see Bray, Aleister Black, Bo, and Alexa? My next answer would be no. I don't think we see that because Aleister Black's rumored to be staying with AEW. So we're not expecting Aleister Black, or I'm not expecting Aleister Black to be coming into WWE anytime soon. The one that's done the rounds is Bray, Carrion, Dexter, Scarlett, and Braun. And I mean, look, if you did that, it would be that'd be one of the strongest, if not the strongest factions ever. I mean, like Braun and Bray being together makes sense. I can't see any connection for Dexter, but he's so out there that, you can absolutely put him with Bray and it would make sense. Gimmick-wise, it makes sense. Even if there isn't any clues or any links or anything along those lines at this stage, his character makes sense. And Carrion's quite dark and otherworldly. No, not supernatural, but, I mean, we saw Scarlett with the fire paper. And the fireball thing. So that they would fit in with Bray. You could see them being with Bray. The only thing with those is that I just don't know that they need to be in a group. I don't know that I look at Carrion and Scarlett and think they need a faction. I think they're quite good just being like them two. I think they're kind of out on their own, really. So I don't know. I don't know that Triple H would want to go that way. I think the fans, or certainly some of the fans, are kind of interested in that. But I've got to tell you, I think there's quite a few Carrion fans that probably aren't that interested in seeing that. I think there's probably a few Carrion fans that would rather he just stay, him and Scarlett, and kind of forge his own path. Because that's what he's done throughout his career, and it's worked very well for him, and he's built up his reputation and his gimmick and everything himself. Does he want to play second fiddle to Bray Wyatt? He might not want to. Dexter, I mean, I feel like Dexter could. Carrion, I feel like there or thereabouts. A lot of times you put people in factions to, get them over. And, if you think about it, Braun was in the Wyatt family because... that's how he debuted on the main roster. He came in and went straight into a Wyatt family. Rowan and Harper, they were two big guys, but they were two big guys that if they were just out on their own, you could see that they would struggle. And in all fairness, when they were the Bludgeon Brothers and they were away from Bray, they struggled. There wasn't really much to them. Really, they were henchmen, and I think they were kind of always henchmen. Brody went into AEW and did a great job being the leader of the Dark Order. They put a group around him, but again, he excelled because he was in a group. He excelled because he was the leader of a faction. Completely out on his own, he may have struggled. So I kind of look at those two and think they are, two big guys that needed to be in a tag team or needed to be in a faction or needed to be around other people. like out on their own, I'm not sure it works. I don't feel that way for Carrion. I feel like Carrion is absolutely fine on his own. His promos are fantastic. His match quality is good, it's really good. But his promos are great. He's a real talker, great talker. His physique as well. You know, he's constantly in the gym. He looks fantastic. So he's got a great look. He's got Scarlett by his side. He's got, you know, the great physique. He's got a great promo. He can deliver great matches. I mean, already he's come in and straight into a feud with Drew. So I don't know. Are they really going to take him and now put him in a group with Bray and have him like second fiddle to like Bray? Because Bray, you put Bray in a group, Bray's the leader. There's no two ways about that. We can sit here and say there is no leader of this group and whatever, but that's nonsense. You put Bray in a group, Bray's the leader, yeah? I mean, the sheer amount of money that they're going to have to pay to bring Bray in means that he will be the group of the leader. He will be the group. He will be the leader of the group. So, yeah, that one I struggle with. I can definitely see Braun going back with Bray. I can definitely see Dexter going with Bray. Alexa can go with Bray because as the only female in the group, that's kind of a unique position. She's not the leader, but she stands out because she's the only female. So she's kind of second fiddle, but she's also not in a way. It's a bit different. The dynamic, because of her being the only female, is a little different. So I think Alexa I could see in that group, but I struggle with Carrion. Carrion and Scarlett. So if you want my honest opinion about where this is going, I've been honest all throughout. My feelings right now is I'm about 75-80% Bray Wyatt. I'm still keeping a little chunk for Alexa being behind this White Rabbit thing and, you know, a few other people, but far and away, you know, well in the lead at this point now is Bray Wyatt. But the question is, I suppose, does he come back on his own? Is he going to start a faction? Is he coming back as the Fiend? Like, what is it that we're going to see from him? And if it is a group, then the only one that I would question would be Carrion and I suppose Scarlett in a way. But I think Dexter, Braun, Alexa, I could see those. I mean, obviously bringing Alexa in after what happened would need some explaining. But I think you could easily do it. I think like he could come back and say, you've struggled without me. You thought you could live without me, but you've struggled. And she could acknowledge that and then rejoin him. Because in all fairness, she has struggled without him. She has struggled. The creative for her has been atrocious since he went. So I think he would have a very valid point. But right. William Hensey said, next Wep Days confesses his lust for Austin. Oh, I feel like I confess that on a regular basis anyway. I just do it in little clues that people don't pick up on. But I've been doing White Rabbit on this channel for a long time. So, William, shout out to you. Jake Campbell said, we want Bray versus Carrion, not with Bray. That's interesting. There's a lot of people that do want that group, and I totally understand why, because if you're fantasy booking, if you're sitting there going, okay, what group would be amazing if I like put them all together? Yeah, I mean, you can see it, can't you? Like Scarlett is very interesting. She stands out on her own. Like she tends to like be the first one to come out during the entrance. We've seen her kind of come out on her own. And I think that her as Abby is very interesting thought. Very interesting. And obviously she's got the connection with Carrion. So Carrion coming into the group makes a lot of sense. So I get it. It's not that I don't see where these theories come from or that I don't see why people want it. I totally get it. I just question why would Carrion do it? What's in it for Carrion? Maybe if Carrion was struggling, maybe if he had been on the main roster for a while and things hadn't worked and, you know, he needed a bit of a refresh, a bit of a change, a new direction, a new perspective, some support, something like that. But he's only just arrived. He's only just arrived. We haven't seen him like in his first feud. Like he's about to start his first real feud with Drew, and you know, even if he's not gonna win that feud, I think it'd be too early to put him in a group and shove him in the background. So yeah, that's the only one that I struggle with, as I say. But Jake says he wants to see Bray versus Carrion, and actually, I agree. I think that's a very interesting matchup. I did retweet as well. Don't know where my phone is. Here it is. I did retweet. I got sent a tweet, which I thought was really interesting, and I think you guys are going to like this as well. This is a shout out to... Let me go to it. This is a shout out to Super Hulk, Super Ragnar 19. So at Super Hulk 11912. He has been just all over White Rabbit. I mean, literally every day. I feel like at least a few times a day I get tweets from him. And I really appreciate them as well, because he comes up and finds loads of really interesting things. And I think he was in the last video we did. Well, not the last one, the one before, where we spoke about theories. But anyway, he said that he found something interesting. What do buzzards like to feed on? I don't even know how he found this. Like, this is the level of detail he must have been going into. He must have just been searching random stuff like, you know, what do rabbits eat? And like, what do buzzards eat? What do fireflies eat? And all this kind of stuff. And he came across this. What do buzzards eat? And the answer is carrion. Carrion is what buzzards eat. Carrion is the decaying flesh of dead animals. Don't you? That's amazing. Buzzards eat carrion. That's amazing. I mean, that just is amazing. That's what it's called. So I kind of look at that and think, wow. I mean, like, okay, maybe that's not the basis of a feud, but it's something that if Bray was feuding with Carrion, it's something you would mention. Do you know what I mean? It's something you would mention. Carrion is the decaying flesh of dead animals, and that's what buzzards eat. They eat the decaying flesh of dead animals. So I thought that was very, very interesting. So I did retweet that out. Arthur87 said, Otis the pig would be great. Fair enough. Otis the pig boy. Cooper Weary W said, Days was wondering, where is Rowan? So Rowan was sadly released, and because we saw him with Daniel Bryan when Daniel Bryan was champion, and Rowan was kind of his bodyguard, like, in a way. And those two were together a lot. But shortly, not long after that, there was a load of releases. And Rowan was one that got cut. And since then, he's popped up in AEW a couple of times. When Brody passed away, Brody Lee, at the end of 2019? Was it just before the pandemic? I think it was. Was it? Or was it 2020? Can't remember now. I can't remember. That's bad, isn't it? I can't remember if it's the end of... I know it's the end of either 2019 or the end of 2020. But I'm going to look at it right now. Brody Lee. Let's see when he passed away. I'm going to guess at the end of 2019. That's my guess. It was the end of 2020. Ugh. Oh, that's right, actually, because... That's right. Because he never competed in front of fans in AEW. He joined AEW and competed all throughout the pandemic. And when he passed away, the fans still hadn't returned. So Brody, I think I'm right in saying there might have been a handful of fans, but never competed in AEW in front of an arena of people. That's mental, innit? That's mental. Never competed in front of an arena of fans in AEW. Came in as the pandemic was beginning and sadly passed away at the end of 2020. So yes, that's right. But yes, when he passed away, was it like the next week or so? They had Eric Redbeard Rowan on AEW. I remember he held up a sign and it was a bit strange. Like him, like communicate in that way, like holding up a sign. But I think, to be honest, I think he was just so emotional. I think he was so upset. I think that was the only way that he could communicate. I think it was the only way that he could get like his message out there was by holding up this sign. And then we saw him again fairly recently, not all that long ago in AEW. And people thought that he'd signed, but it seemed like it was just another one-off appearance. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, if Bray comes back, is there a chance that they bring Rowan back as well? That would be cool. I'd be down for that. You know, you could do Dexter, Rowan, Braun, and Bray. The only problem is people would potentially see Dexter as the Brody replacement, the Brody Lee replacement. That'd be hard. That's a difficult spot to be in, isn't it? If you're Dexter Lumis and you are basically in the spot Brody Lee was in, that's hard. You'd always be compared to him, and he's just such an icon now. Because of like how he passed away, and his AEW run was fairly good as well. But that'd be difficult for Dexter. But yeah, no, Cooper, shout out to you. That's an interesting thought. Yeah, interesting thought. If Bray comes back, do we see Rowan return? Ricky E245 said, I see. Oh, and a big thank you as well, my friend. That's a very, very kind donation. So really do appreciate that. So Ricky E245 says, I see a Wyatt family reunion with Bray, Bo, Braun, and Rowan returning. So there we go. That's interesting. Ricky saying that he can see Rowan coming back and Bo as well. Now, Bo being in the Wyatt family would be interesting. That's something that people have thought about and discussed for a long, long time. The idea of Bo coming into a Wyatt family. Of course, Bo Dallas is Wyndham's real life brother. So those two being together makes a lot of sense. And in a way, it was always surprising they never put Bo in with Bray. I didn't know if it was something that like maybe Bo didn't want. Because if if you're brothers, you might want to be able to stand on your own 2 feet. You might not want to kind of go into your brother's, faction, if you will. You might want to, as I said, stand on your own 2 feet. So, yeah, I don't know. I always looked at that and did wonder, like, why they never did it, because he was struggling really from the moment he arrived on the main roster. Bo Dallas always struggled to get over with the fans. Down in NXT, amazingly, he was NXT champion. They put the championship on Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas was NXT champion. On the main roster, he was in the B team, right? He was in like a jobber faction, and they just had nothing for him. Like, just from the very beginning, he was just not seen as a big deal, or they couldn't get him over as a big deal. And so when you've got Bray just killing it, it was always a surprise they never did anything there. Always a surprise. And I did often wonder if that was more to do with Bo than it was to do with WWE Creative. But now that he's been out of WWE for so long, I have to think if they were to turn around to him and say, look, we want to bring you in and we want to put you with your brother, I'd have to think he would turn around and jump at that opportunity. I mean, why would he not? Why would he not? So good shout that is, Ricky. Good shout. Some good thoughts there. Really appreciate the support. Want to try and get through as many of these as possible. We've got 9 minutes to go. 9 minutes to go. Harley said, I don't want to see Bray in another faction. Let him have his own spotlight, as he would take away from others in the group. He should come back with a new gimmick, but closer to the Eater of Worlds. Well, I don't know if you saw, and again, there's conversations that are going to potentially upset people here. But we don't shy away from those conversations. But I don't know if you just saw the interview that Seth Rollins did. Seth Rollins just did an interview with Ariel Helwani. He did it when they did Clash at the Castle, and it was a 2-part interview. The first part got released during Clash at the Castle around that weekend. The second part, I believe, came out today. And they talk about Becky, and they talk about a few different things. But one of the things they talk about is Bray Wyatt. And Ariel Helwani says, like, would you like to see Bray come back? And Seth, and redo your feud? And Seth gives a very interesting answer. If you've not seen it, you have to watch it. It's very, very interesting. And I think there's a lot being said that's not being said, because he says that he would like to revisit it, and he really loves working with Wyndham. And he said that he would love for him to come back and for them to do something together, whether that's The Fiend or something different. But he does also say that working with The Fiend was very difficult. And it was difficult for a lot of people because a lot of characters were not the same after. And he's not saying that in regards to, you know, how like The Fiend changes people. Yeah. He's not saying that in like a good way. He's not saying your character was different after, like I was a face before, I was heel after. He's saying that the Fiend character killed people's characters, just like there was nothing you could do with them after. He said like the Beast Slayer Seth Rollins was done. As soon as he faced the Fiend, that was it. Beast Slayer Seth was done. There was nothing he could do after because of just how kind of crazy the story with the Fiend was. Like, you can't just carry on as normal after. There's a lot of feuds that you can have and then you can carry on afterwards as normal, because if you lose a feud, fine, you know, you can find a way forward. I mean, he's found a way forward after losing 3 times to Cody Rhodes. But those have all been, you know, normal matches, straight up matches. You was always getting something a bit quirky with the Fiend, and you was like always going into stuff that was just always a bit weird, and it was just hard to carry on after. And he was saying that the only person that really ever came out of it looking any good after they faced the Fiend was maybe Daniel Bryan. And I thought it was a real interesting point that he made. It kind of gave the insight that I don't know if Seth was talking for himself, but I don't know how many wrestlers were eager to work with the Fiend character. I think they love Bray. But I think they struggle with the Fiend character, because I think that the Fiend character it's super popular. It's very strange. It takes you in directions that you're not used to going. And Seth did say that he couldn't do the stuff that was more supernatural. He couldn't, he was no good at that. And, you know, like trying to make that credible was one of the hardest things he's ever had to do. And his character was just done after. He knew afterwards he needed something completely different. And I just think all of that is really interesting. It's not something that ever gets discussed. It's not something that's really ever thought about how the other wrestlers perceive the Fiend character and how they perceive Bray. So, but he did end it, right? He ended it with this. He did say that the way that the feud went is not the way that either Seth or Bray wanted it to go, right? They were constantly trying to get Vince to take things in a different direction, and Vince was not having it. He would not budge. And, you know, we've already heard the stories about after Hell in a Cell, how there was chance for refunds and how the fans hated Seth versus Bray Wyatt, the Fiend in Hell in a Cell, and that people wanted refunds there. And backstage, Seth kicked off, and Bray tweeted out saying, like, you kicked off. You should have seen what I said afterwards, like making out that he was fuming as well. So we know that there were things that happened that even Bray did not want happening and did not agree with. What exactly they were, we don't know. We don't have a list of things that he liked and a list of things that he didn't. But either way, we know there was things that were happening that Bray didn't agree with. So I am very interested to see him come back, and I am very interested to see how does this look if Bray is given the freedom that Bray wanted. How does this look without Vince being in charge? how does this look like in 2022, 2023 with this new setup? And can we make it work, basically? Because I think it's undeniable, whether you love Bray or you hate Bray, whether you love The Fiend or you hate The Fiend, right? I think it's undeniable that there was fantastic moments and there was moments that did not work. I really seriously do not know of really anyone. And honestly, feel free to tell me if I'm wrong, right? I'm sure there's someone out there, but I don't think I've ever met anyone that's told me that Fiend losing to Goldberg at Super Showdown was the right thing to do. I don't think anyone has ever told me that. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's ever told me that was the right call and the right thing to do was for the Fiend to lose the title in Saudi Arabia to Goldberg. So, you can look at lots of things that happened in that run. But I just thought that interview that only dropped today, I mean, so interesting, actually, that had it been earlier, I probably would have done a video on it and we would have picked it apart because, as I said, there was lots of interesting things in there. It's not the longest interview. Well, the interview is about half an hour, but the Bray segment's about 3-4 minutes. But yeah, there's so many bits in there that you could chew over and, discuss and check around. We probably would have done a separate video on it. But that only dropped not that long ago. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, then I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest, because I managed to catch it like literally just before we went live. So I've not seen any reaction to that interview, but there were some interesting points in there. David Paul said Fox to show top 10 Extreme Rules moments around NFL game coverage on Sunday. Usual schedule of early game, late WWE, late game, early W. I don't know what that means, but I don't know what it means. Early game, late WWE, late game, early WWE. I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm sure that means something to you guys. But obviously, that's not really something that factors in over here in the UK. But that's interesting about how they're going to show WWE stuff around the NFL. I mean, you don't really need to know the NFL or anything to know that that's going to be a boost. The eyes that are going to be on that. So, right, here we go then, guys. We are going over to this week's SmackDown. Let's see what they've got for us. Are you ready for a good time? It's time, says Caleb. LZS said, I think Bo would come back if they put him on SmackDown, where him and Liv are together, but I'm pretty sure he runs a real estate business with Liv, so he's probably busy with that. Yeah. I mean, he probably is. I can't imagine or can't see why he can't have someone help run it for him when he's not around, if that makes sense. I can't see why they can't do that for him. Are you ready for a good time? Okay. Are you ready for a good time? I was born ready, Darcy. I was born ready. David, shout out to you. Extreme Rules. Not this weekend, next weekend. How are we going to start the show? Progressive. Guys, Progressive is a triple threat of protection. And we're starting with Sami Zayn. So he's got honorary Oos. He's got honorary Oos on his graphics. I'm not sure how long he's had that. I don't know if he's had that for a while, but normally when I see him, he's coming out with the bloodline. But honorary Oos making his way out is officially a part of the bloodline. So honorary Oos out first. Solo Sikoa. So we're going to go to this first match. Doesn't look like we're going to be getting a promo or anything. Ricochet and Madcap. Here's Solo. Obviously, we need to keep an eye out for QR codes. They tend to be, well, you don't know where they are. They have been, I mean, it's not even that they're just backstage, is it? They have been on the edge of the commentary table, and the screen has flickered as well. So it's hard to know, like, hard to know where they're going to pop up. So you've got to be vigilant really all throughout. Predictions for White Rabbit hints today. Well, I mean, look, there was that one that said tic-tac-toe, which could have been completely made up, but I've got to admit, we haven't seen things being made up. Well, I haven't seen things getting, like, made up. Like, there's been a lot of, like, theories and things like that, but we've seen no fake QR codes, for example, which would be so easy to do, but no one's done it. So we've not been seeing, like, fake QR codes. I've not seen anyone else coming up with, oh, I've seen the next clue, and it's going to be this. Like, the only thing that I have seen that has so far not turned out to be true is that thing that was on Reddit. So I'm still wondering if that is a clue. I'm still sat here wondering, is that one? Because we've still got one tonight, potentially one on Raw, potentially one next week. So there's still 3 to go. So is that going to be one of the 3 that we've still got? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe someone has just made it up, but I don't know. I just haven't seen anything fake. And apparently that person got the last one right. So, yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I really was expecting that to be the clue last time round. So, yeah, I mean, difficult because that last clue was so different. It has been games, it was Hangman, then it was an actual game, like a maze game, but that last one wasn't a game. That last one was a TikTok, and that last one was like a collage of different wrestlers saying just a word at a time. So yeah, it's weird. I don't know. I feel like it should be a game. So some people said word search, which I thought was a great shout. Imagine like a word search, and the rabbit finds a word, but it's incorrect. It's actually not the word they're looking for. And that word could be a clue. And then they do find the word they're looking for, and that word could be a clue. Maybe they try a few words, but those words aren't the word they're looking for. And obviously they would be clues, and the word they find would be a clue. And then you'd get the end screen as well with like coordinates or whatever it might be. So I think a word search was an excellent shout. Right, we are underway with this match. The Honorary Uce and Solo working against Madcap and Ricochet. This obviously from last week when there was a little backstage altercation. Do you think it'll be Sami and Owens that take the tag titles from the Usos? I hope not. We've spoke about this quite a few times. I think that Sami is definitely going to turn on the bloodline, or the bloodline turn on him. I don't think that Sami is going to turn heel. I mean, he's already heel. I think that he will, rebel against them or something because of how he gets treated. It just seems perfectly set up for that. So yes, I can totally understand why people would say Sami and Kevin Owens go after the Usos tag belts. I've said it before. I want Sami to go after Roman. I want Sami to be the one that defeats Roman, to be honest. It's going to be hard to get there, but not impossible to get there. But yeah, I think I would really shoot for the moon. So I don't know. Tag belts to me just feel like so secondary. I mean, I just don't see them as important. Tag belts just don't mean anything in WWE. Tag division's been atrocious. It's still atrocious. But, Triple H is trying to build it up. He's brought in Hit Row, however you feel about them. Obviously, Imperium have got a team now. You've got, maybe Solo and Sami are going to be a team, and maybe Sami and Kevin Owens could be a team. You got the Usos. We don't know when New Day will be, like, doing something with New Day. I feel like New Day have had a few injury problems, and they need a bit of a refresh. And if you were just to refresh the New Day, if you was to, like, if this show started with New Day coming out and they had something new to shout about, like a new member or, they've had Bootios and they've had Pancakes, like, if they had something like that, and they were coming out and they were having some fun, I feel like that could really breathe some life into the New Day. But other than that, the New Day feel quite stale. But, look, Triple H is trying to get the tag division, like, going again, but I don't know. The tag belts just feel really flat at the moment. New Day needs to just break up, said Master Chief. Dakota said, how do you think the Bloodline should break up? Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if the Bloodline will ever truly break up. What I can see happening is them ending up just kind of all going their separate ways. And I think one of those is that, because don't forget, Solo and Usos, they're all brothers. And they will always be brothers. So they're never going to split up. Like, they're always going to be connected by being brothers. It might be they get drafted to, like, different shows, those guys. I can see Roman losing the title and then going off, and we just see him do a real reduced schedule. So I think that's how it'll end with Roman. He loses the belt, and then we just don't see him as much. And when we do see him, he'll come out and say a few things about how he still runs this place, and then someone will step up and he'll, go into a feud and whatever. So I can see that being Roman. Usos, they'll just carry on, doing what they do in the tag division, and Solo will just go off and, go after, like, mid-card belts, try maybe to get to the top of the card, but I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know how successful that'll be. There's so many great superstars. It's going to be really difficult to see him achieve that, to be honest. It's going to be really hard to see him get in, like, that high. He might get there. I don't know. I just, Cody, AJ, Finn, there's just so many people. Seeing Solo up there, I'm not sure. It's a bit like Rikishi, isn't it? Like, never really around that main event scene. Same as Umaga, never really around that main event scene. I kind of think Solo might be another example of that. He might be another one of those guys that's never really around the main event scene, but certainly around mid-card belts, and certainly around, like, tag belts and things along those lines. But I think with Sami, I can see Sami letting them down. I can see things not going well in the build-up to WrestleMania, and Sami will be the one that it takes the blame. I mean, it will be Sami because he's not blood. Like, they're not going to blame family, are they? It's easier to blame the person that's not family, and Jay already hates him. So I can see Sami being the one that gets blamed for everything, and then, from there, it'll just spiral. He'll be getting beaten up. The crowd will want him to defend himself. He won't. Week after week, the crowd will be, like, urging him to turn on him, urging him, demanding him, chanting his name. And it'll just make him so big, so big. That it is so easy to play on, like, a crowd's heartstrings. People love Sami anyway. If they watch Sami getting beaten up by the Bloodline, and Sami's just taking it and he's not fighting back week after week after week, it's a tried and tested and proven storyline that absolutely works every single time, and it will work again. And then obviously 1 week he does fight back. Days, did the guy in the audience, dead center, is wearing a shirt with full circle? Oh, is he? Nice spot. Well done. We're just at commercial break, so we'll have a look at that. Me name's Bryn Weevil. Primo said, did you hear the part on the Hawani interview where Seth felt it was demoralizing being used to catapult Cody to a spot that he wanted. He also spoke about being second fiddle to Roman. The only clip that I watched was the Bray clip, which was around about 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, something like that. Haven't had a chance to sit down and watch the half-an-hour interview yet. But I can understand that. I can understand Seth, I mean, look, Seth wants to be the guy. Seth wants to be the one. So I can understand that. Oh, I can see that circle. It's like it's a bit different, that one, isn't it? It's like a black circle on a red shirt. That one. Black circle on a red shirt. Could be something weird way round, isn't it? I was expecting a red circle on a black shirt, but still definitely noteworthy. Well spotted. Just trying to see if there's like a pattern there. He is dead center. He does seem to be with someone, though, next to him. Look, yeah, he's talking to that woman next to him. So I don't know that they've planted both of those. Don't know. I'm leaning towards that just being a shirt that he's wore, to be honest. Rather than it actually being a clue or something that's related to WWE. If you're not watching the show, there is a guy, he is sat center. In all fairness, he is sat center. He's about, 4 or 5 rows back, slightly raised. He's got a black circle on a red shirt. If he was just sat there on his own, staring forward, then I'd be a bit more interested. But the fact he keeps looking up at the screen, and the fact that he keeps talking to the woman next to him, makes me feel like he's a genuine fan. I don't know that someone that gets planted in the audience would be like looking up at the screen, like, "Am I on TV?" maybe they would. I don't know. I'm on TV. I can't believe it. Oh my God. Scott said, "Is it me or is SmackDown skipping for everyone?" SmackDown hasn't skipped for me. No, I can't say that it skipped for me. Hop along, Chris said it's a fan. It's well spotted though. No shade or anything whatsoever. I mean, like, listen, people are looking out for every and any detail they can find. So I appreciate the fact that someone spotted it. I didn't spot it. Smitster said Days is such a heel. Oh, heel for life, baby. Heels have more fun. Why would you want to be a babyface? Ball away slam there by Madcap on Sami. Sami over in the corner. So Madcap throwing in some big strikes. But the problem I've got with this match is that neither of these are actual tag teams. So I feel like there's a little something to this, because obviously if Sami and Solo lose, that's not a good look, is it? They're not gonna love going to Roman saying that they lost this match. So there's definitely something to it. But I don't know. Is there much? Is there much to this? Is this worthy of opening SmackDown? 1, 2. Madcap kicks out from Sami pin. Sami from behind, Blue Thunderbomb. Gets it. 2 count. Blue Thunderbomb just getting a 2. Damn it. Dingleberry said, "You heard it here first. The next White Rabbit clue will be during a Corbin segment." Well, that'll be very interesting if it's if that is the case. I mean, Corbin's not on the show at the moment, so that would mean that he'd have to come back this week, which he absolutely could. Sami crossbody by Sami. Oh, Madcap planting Sami down. Solo rolls into the ring. It's a nice match, though. It's got a good pace to it. Ricochet throwing in some big strikes. Knee strike there by Ricochet. Sami's certainly red hot at the moment, so certainly can't say they're not putting big names in this opening contest. As I said, Sami's probably the most over person on this show, maybe outside of Roman. Ricochet collides into a chair. That was a bit of a crazy spot. Oh, into the ring post goes Ricochet by Solo. Solo throwing Ricochet over the timekeeper's area. Lights just went out. Did you see that? Well, of course you did. Of course you did. Lights just flickered in this match. That's very interesting. Very interesting that they would go out in this match. Because, to be honest, we saw the lights go out once before, but that was in an Alexa match. Solo has picked up the victory. So lights went out. Does that mean that whoever this is going to be coming after Alexa and coming after the Bloodline? Bray has history with Roman. Bray lights. So lights flicker. I think that's definitely going to get people talking about potential for Bray to go after the Bloodline. They did flicker during Alexa's match as well. So it's not the first time that they've gone out. How long we've 20 minutes into the show. We've got an hour and 40. We do need to stay vigilant on QR codes. So Sami and Solo pick up the victory. Solo was talking to someone under the ring. He was down on his knees, wasn't he, when they did flicker? I thought he was looking for something under the ring, like a weapon. It's the Fiend. Days, it's Gordon's son, Aries. I'm not Austin Aries, and I'm not related to him. How are you? I'm good, thank you. Hello, Aries, who's not related to Austin Aries. Welcome. We've got Ronda against Natalya tonight. Ronda against Natalya. And we go, I think, to commercial break. So what's your thoughts on that, guys? What is your thoughts? Let us know in the chat. What do you think about those lights flickering? Is that Bray coming after the Bloodline? Is it going to be unconnected? We have seen them flicker and go out for Alexa versus Bayley. Interesting, because Alexa Bayley was Raw. This is SmackDown. And obviously the QR codes are on both shows as well. So this has really been a cross-promotional, like cross-brand, I should say, campaign. It's not just been playing out on Raw or just on SmackDown. We have seen things happening on both shows. Solo, Sikoa, and Sami Zayn beat Ricochet and Madcap. Lights flicker. Bang, bang, bang. Where's the scroll? There's the scroll. Lights flicker. I don't know what this means. Maybe Bray. Why would Bray go after Bloodline? That'd be heel versus heel. Well, we don't know that Bray's heel. To be honest, when Bray comes back, I don't think he's heel. I don't think he's heel. And I don't... Was he heel in that program with Randy? He was face, wasn't he? But I think he's been face. I think he was face. Thomas said, Days, I was at Raw on Monday, and interesting, Into Edmonton has not had a Raw, which was the last TV show we had, was over 10 years ago. Do you think we'll have to wait another 10 years? Wow, I didn't know that, actually. That's very interesting. I would say it probably depends on how quickly the tickets sold and how many tickets sold. I think if that venue was full and the tickets sold quickly and there's clearly a demand and that's a market that they can, go back to, then I think they'll go back to it. I'm not in America. And even if I was in America, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you why you had to wait 10 years for them to come back. You'd probably have to have a look and see what the sales were like last time. I've got to think that a lot of these decisions are based on, that how many tickets get sold, how quickly do they get sold, how many comps had to be given out. I mean, don't forget, a lot of times they fill up the arena by comping tickets. So they'll give tickets to local shops. So whenever they came to Birmingham, I used to work in an entertainment store. We would always get tickets because we sold WWE merch. So anyone that's in the area that sells WWE products likely would get free tickets. Then you've got any executives in the local area, they'd get free tickets. Friends and family in the local area would get free tickets. People that obviously know the venue as well would get free tickets. Sponsors would get free tickets, of course, if you want to sponsor that show. So there's a lot of comps. So how many tickets can they sell? How many tickets do they have to comp? How quickly do they sell it out? Blah, 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 blah. Probably that. Right, we are back to the show. And now we've got, looking in the background, scanning the background, we got Sami. There's a shadow in the background that people are going to probably talk about, but it doesn't look like there's anything there. Here we are. We're backstage with Sami and Solo. Jay opens the door. Don't worry why I'm here. I came to make sure my little brother is good. Big dub. Sami says, just got a big dub. I see through you. I will get you. Maybe you should take it up with Roman. I'd like to get into our locker room. Sami stepping up a little to Jay there. Jay's not happy. Drama. Jay ain't buying it. No, it's great though. It's nice as well. Nearly half an hour into the show, nearly a quarter of the way through. We haven't had a QR code yet. Drew and Carrion next. Oh, hello. This music sounds very American Horror Story. Very American Horror Story. Da-na-na-na. So, Carrion Cross promo. I can see Sami and Solo challenging the Usos for the tag titles and the Bloodline breaking up, said Justin. EWF said, do you think White Rabbit will be revealed tonight? No. Or Extreme Rules. Extreme Rules is seemingly where this is going to be leading. The article from Fightful said Extreme Rules was the intended place for it to be revealed. And I thought the word was very interesting. I'm not saying that it has changed. I'm literally only telling you what was in the Fightful article. The Fightful report did use the word was. But I still think that's most likely the place where it'll be revealed. were bound together in suffering. So that he's dancing with Scarlett. I mean, look, there's lots of imagery in here of like flames and clocks and look, trees and forest fires and dancers and static and this is very Bray-esque. TikTok. Tickety-tock. Oh, the code, the QR codes. They dropped it. How interesting. We said very Bray-esque. And just as we said very Bray-esque, we get the QR codes. So the QR code has dropped. So people are going to be desperately trying to scan that. Hopefully they left it on screen for a little while. I'm just waiting for it to appear so that I can scan it. TikTok. Jesus, no, it was not long at all. Again. All right, let's have a look. We got Theory on screen. Cal said Antonio Inoki has passed away. Oh my God. At the age of 69. Oh my God, Antonio Inoki. Goddamn. God, I can never get screenshots of this goddamn code. I can never, ever get screenshots of it. You'll have to send it over. I can never get a screenshot. Right, we've got Theory. Drew McIntyre standing behind. That's awful about Antonio Inoki. There we go. There it is. Right, let's go into it. It's just a pig. Is that it? Is that all it is? Is that real? Morse code? I scanned it. What? Did you get Morse code? It's just a pig. It's just a pig. What's that from? What's that from? It's a video. Doesn't play for me. Does not play for me, that video. That's weird, isn't it? That video does not... new QR code. What does this mean? Jesus, what does it mean? I'm late. Saw the QR codes. QR code, did you catch it? There's the QR code. Did you get this? Another QR code. Let's... Yeah, I don't understand. I don't even know where it's from. When I sent the video, it had the number 191. What's in the... Yeah, 191. You're absolutely right. 191. 191 is maybe the clue. If you look at the URL, it says 191. What would 191 be? 9th of the 1st, 2011. 1911. 9th of the 1st, 2011. Click it. Tap it. Click it. Jesus, you're absolutely right. You have to press it. Okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that, guys. You have to press it. Oh, yeah, I might get copyright. I don't know. What does that go to, though? What the hell is that? Play it again. Again. Tap it. I want this. You see, like, meat hanging up. I tell you what, you see a really weird character. I don't know if someone's managed to get an image of that. It's Morse code. It says, feed me more. Has someone worked that out yet? 9/1/2011 is when Husky Harris debuted. Is it really when Husky Harris debuted, Tanner? Is that true? Is that true? Anyone else got that in their head? Banger? Banger? I didn't expect them to drop the biggest tune of 2022. Banger, man, banger. Bangerang. Right. Obviously, we need to do a quick little video on this. Let's look to do that. Let's go Twitter. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Right, let's go into. Let's go into this here. Dun, 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 dun. Massive breaking news. The latest QR code has dropped. And you can see it here. Big thank you to Wrestling Fan on Twitter. This is it right here. So you can see that it's just images of what seem to be like animated characters. But that looks like, you know, the Three Little Pigs and the wolf that was disguised as grandma or whatever. Am I getting mixed up there? I might be getting mixed up. But yeah, that looks like a wolf or like something dressed as grandma. Was that Three Little Pigs? I have no idea. But look, we're seeing meat hanging up. We're seeing like a big bad wolf. And that's what we keep getting like a glimpse of. Can't quite get. I wonder if I can pause that. I'd love to be able to pause it on that image. I should be able to do that. Hang on. Let's see if we can find it. Because that certainly feels like the most important image. There's meat hanging up, black screen, big bad wolf. That's the image. That one there. I don't know what that is, but that is obviously like, I'm guessing a wolf dressed as grandma. So that is very interesting. Who is next to it though? Like, who's got his arm around it? Like, where is this taken? What? There's a few things in here. So there's a Morse code, which we don't know exactly what that Morse code is going to be revealed as, but I'm guessing it's going to be feed your head or who killed the world. That's very much been the message that's been repeated all throughout. So I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out to be that. And as well as that, in the URL, it's www.com/1911. My feeling on that is it's likely a date. And there was rumors potentially that could be Husky Harris's debut. Need to have a look and see if that's confirmed. But that would make sense because I've got a feeling he was on the second series of NXT. I don't believe he was in the first one. So it would be around that time. It would be around that time that Husky Harris would have been on NXT. So that would be very interesting. So we need to have a look and get clarity on 1911. This, I think, is very interesting as well. We need to decode the Morse code. That's what people are going to be doing, obviously, in the coming hours. As soon as SmackDown ends, what we'll do is we'll get a video out that's got all of the kind of information into it, because the next few hours people are going to be finding things. And I'm sure there's stuff hidden in here as well. I'm sure there's going to be images and things in here that, people are going to look to decode and find things with. So, yeah, very, very interesting. What else is in this video? What does the Morse code relate to? What does the 1911 mean? Yeah, lots to look at and work out. But that is seemingly this week's clue. I'm still thinking about the wolf and the three. Yeah, I couldn't remember that flipping story. That's not good, is it? Cal said, this is so creative. Hats off to whoever made this. David Paul said, today is the 62nd anniversary of Inoki's first match. You missed an earlier super chat of mine. Apologies. I'll have to jump to that in a second. Obviously, we've got a lot going on right now. Just want to check that video up so that those that aren't watching or are watching and were exactly like me sat there going, it's just a picture, can see that it's not just a picture. Latest cryptic white rabbit clue revealed on SmackDown. Right, we are underway with SmackDown as well. And what's good is this one, I could be wrong, but this one does not feel to be as big. It's not like we've got loads of coordinates and all that kind of stuff. There'll be loads of theories that come out of this. Loads of theories, and I'm looking for them all, and we'll be all over them, but it doesn't feel quite as big. I don't feel like we're going to be going into like tons of different directions. Again, I could be wrong. So it was Drew against Theory. But it's ended in DQ because we've got Alpha Academy and Theory beating up on Drew. I love it. Love it. Oh, here's Johnny. Johnny Gargano is making his way down. So, Theory and Drew DQ. And that brings down Johnny. Check Twitter. I found out what the numbers mean. I will be doing that in a second. Here's Kevin Owens. Owens coming down. Kevin Owens running down to the ring. We've got Kevin Owens trying to help his friends. Over the top goes Theory. So, yeah, we've got Owens, Drew. Is that going to lead to a tag? They're not going to do a tag match, are they? They're not going to do a tag match. They wouldn't do that to us. We've left those days behind, surely. Okay, so Johnny, Drew, and... Hello, backstage with Maximum Male Models. I'm going to make you proud, says Maximum Male Models. We've got LA Knight backstage. We're going to break the record for longest pose. That's good pose. Max Dupree's not impressed. Max Dupree has walked away. Here's Hit Row. Strike. They've gone for it again. They've gone for another pose. Focus, boys. Focus. It's very hard to focus. It's hard to focus when the whole world's looking at White Rabbit. It doesn't look like Max Dupree is very interested, does it? It doesn't look like Max Dupree is very impressed. Okay. Cynthia said, Days, do you think we will see who White Rabbit is at Extreme Rules? Do you think they will show up at the end of the show? No. I think that we'll see them at Extreme Rules. I don't think they'll be at the end of this show. But yeah, Extreme Rules is looking pretty good for where the reveal is going to be. I think that it's running the risk of, I don't know, this. What's this? Mass. I have no idea what's uploaded, but it's not what I wanted. Trying to do a million things at once. When you're a guy as well, you know. Because we all know that guys can't multitask. It's just not what we're able to do. I have no idea what's happening. This is crazy. I've only got, do you know what? I've only got one video on my computer and it's uploaded a completely different video and I don't even know where that's come from. I legit have no idea where that's even come from. How exciting. What a time to be alive. Right. Let me finish this. I'm almost done with it. And then we will jump into the chat, see what you guys are saying, try and catch up with the super chats. Keep sharing your thoughts and theories, though, because even though I can't see them right now, I am interested in them. And obviously, you lot can chuck stuff around, share your thoughts, share your theories, get a complete picture as to what's out there. Obviously, we need to talk and have a look about Antonio Inoki as well. That's awful news. Awful news. Okay. Hopefully the right video is going up now. Nothing like a bit of unintentional clickbait. We are at commercial break, by the way. We are 47 minutes into the show. I'm feeling quite hopeful and optimistic that we shouldn't be as distracted. I know I've been distracted for the past 5 minutes, but if you joined our Raw stream, we were distracted pretty much all throughout that one. That was not great. But yeah, this one shouldn't be distracted. Should be able to concentrate on the show. Because as I said, this one doesn't feel as deep. Hidden White Rabbits. Clue. We're backstage with Shotzi. God, you've got to stare backstage. What Shotzi? I'm going to stick my nose. Let's see how much control Bayley has when I roll to the ring and stomp on her. Los Lotharios making their way down to the ring. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Massive. Yeah, okay, so it's the right video. So that's good news. Boom, and back. Days. Bray wore 1911 on his hat during the Firefly Funhouse segment, says Daniel. Excellent spot. Okay, so Shotzi backstage. Azael Reborn is Morse code. Azael is, in religious theory, one of the devil's 7 fallen angels who was sent back to Earth as a scapegoat. He is said to come back during Yom Kippur, which is next week. What the hell's Yom Kippur? What's Yom Kippur? 911, the first use of aircraft as an offensive weapon occurred. Hit row, if you don't know now, you know. 1911 is the zip code for Philadelphia, and Extreme Rules is in Philadelphia. Ooh. I'm loving these. They're very good. So, seems like people are all over this, unsurprisingly. Is there anything that's pointing to anyone, though? Is there anything... Let's go into notifications. This appears to be related to the Morse code. I must admit, I thought the Morse code, as you heard, I thought that was going to be... I thought that was going to be related to Bejahead, who killed the world. So, yeah, we've got Bray when he was Mad Hatter. When Bray was Mad Hatter, he did have 1911 in his hat. And that relates to 1911. So that's interesting. 1911. Let's see what other theories we've got. There's lots being shared. So the Morse code is Azazel. Azazel. How the hell do you pronounce that? Azazel Reborn. Azazel Reborn is the Morse codes. Azazel Reborn. Azazel. Is that how you pronounce it? Azazel. Also, I've got in my head is love it. Love it. I used a Morse code reader and it came back as Azazel Reborn. Didn't even know there was a Morse code reader. Didn't even know that. So hit row against Los Lotharios is what we've got. We got Top Dollar dropping an elbow. This is interesting and creepy. I know that Cross can't be doing this. So people are loving the Mad Hatter thing. It's more, it says Azazel reborn. Azazel in Jewish legend is a demon or evil spirit. In the ancient rite of Yom Kippur, a day of atonement, a scapegoat was sent bearing the sins of the Jewish people. Jeez, how the flip do I put that in a video? How do I explain it? It's getting to the point of like, how do I even explain some of this stuff? Because I don't understand it. Azazel is a demon or an evil spirit. In the ancient rite of Yom Kippur, a scapegoat was sent bearing the sins of the Jewish people. What? I put 1911 Alice in Wonderland in Google, and the first thing that came up is 1911 Rare First Color Illustrated Edition. Alice Adventures in Wonderland and Looking Through the Looking Glass. It's interesting. Morse code said as Azazel reborn. Azazel appears as an unclean bird. I've met some of them, who came down from upon the sacrifice of Abraham prepared. This is in reference of Genesis 15:11. Birds of prey came down on the carcass, but Abraham drove them away. Oh, that's interesting. The time on the alarm clock. Well done, typical. Well done, typical. The time. Do you remember that time on the alarm clock? That was 11:19. That was 11:19. You missed a sign. I missed a sign. Days. It's pronounced Azazel. Azazel. Thank you. Azazel. What was that sign? Okay. Well, let's have a look on Twitter because it'll be on Twitter. You can't look at like revel in what you are sign. Revel in what you are. Is that connected? Not connected? It'll be a talking point. A sign in the back said, revel in what you are, Graves might cut out. There we go. Revel in what you are. That's just a lovely message, to be honest. Lovely message. Revel in what you are, guys. Live your best life. Revel in what you are. Hit row beats Los Lotharios. Rhonda said she's the most dangerous woman on the planet. What do you think I become with a baseball bat? So, Rhonda, most dangerous woman. Baseball bat. Right. Days. What if the wolf is referring to Corbin's lone wolf gimmick? The cloak in it is the same as Scarlet, did you say? It's 9:23 on the clock. Well, unless someone's photoshopped and messed around with it, someone has actually sent me a picture of it, and it says 9:11 or 11:19. Sorry. So the two letters, the two numbers are on the. I've retweeted it. Days in the Three Little Pigs, the big bad wolf said to the pigs, little pig, let me in. Yeah, good point, Harley. Good point. Yeah, good point. Excellent. Niall saying the same as well. Yep, excellent. I want to get to some of these super chats because it's not fair, is it? It's not fair, but I don't know if I can get back to them because obviously the chat just explodes and it won't let me go back to them. They're just not there for me to revisit. And I can't even go back on the stream because at some points when they've been sent through, we were looking at other things. So if you did send in a super chat and I haven't read it, just type it again. Just put super chat at the start, type what it says, and I will read it. I really do want to get to those. I want to get to those. The sign is related because next to the R, there is a little white rabbit logo. Oh, let's have a look. Next to the R. Oh, what there in the card? It's can't make that out. I mean, awesome. There was a sign that said, Revel what you are. Yes. I've got a feeling each night has got a theme of children's stories. White Rabbit is Alice in Wonderland. Pigs and the Wolf is Three Little Piggies and the Big Bad Wolf. Spawn Burton said, let's not forget that Bray has a giant wolf tattooed on his chest. Yeah, this just feels, I mean, yeah, everything points to Bray again, doesn't it? But that's an excellent point. We are at commercial break. Let the rabbit in. Niall said, I'm convinced it's not me now. I see White Rabbit, real one with red eyes. Days, answer this. Days, check DMs in Twitter, please. I want to get to these super chats, to be honest, buds. It's not fair to ignore those, so I want to try and mop that up first before we jump around anyway. And read some of your thoughts as well, because I have been, obviously, having to do a few other things. Why was the rabbit icon on the sign? We don't know. I mean, that's connected. I have to think it probably is connected, unless someone just got amazing seats and they prepared that sign. I think that's probably not likely, though. I've got to think it's more likely that it is genuinely connected. Super Chat says main 2K. Wasn't there a pig in the funhouse? Yes, there was. There was a pig in the funhouse. It could be connected to Huskus. I mean, there was a rabbit in the funhouse. Rambling Rabbit. There was a pig in the funhouse. So, you know, are there little references to the creatures and things that were in the funhouse? It's a good thought. Esco Bomb said, Super Chat, White Rabbit is Adam Rose confirmed. Trustful. It's going to seem very unlikely, isn't it, at this stage, bud? Very, very unlikely. I think that it's unlikely that it's anyone else, but absolutely keeping an open mind still. But at this point, it's just clue after clue. It's just drowning in Bray stuff. I mean, yeah. The 1911 being the same as what was on his hat, being the same as what was on that clock. Potentially, I don't know. Did we get anywhere with confirmation about that being Husky Harris's debut? I didn't look into that. Obviously, it was mentioned in the chat, but I haven't had a chance to confirm when Husky Harris debuted. Let's have a look. Husky Harris debut. June 2nd, 2010, he joined NXT. Made his televised debut. So, nah, that's fake. So, it was 11th of January, 2011. He was initiated into the new Nexus. So, does that work? What's this? This is 1911. No, if that was... So Husky Harris accepts his new Nexus initiation. What if I put in WWE Raw January? Do I want January 9th? January 9th, 2011. Is there a January 9th? There isn't a January 9th. So January 9th, 2011 isn't anything. And if it was actually a Sunday. Because January 10th, what have we got? January 10th is where we got the initiations into the new Nexus. But, I mean, that doesn't connect to January 9th. So, date-wise doesn't work. That's a shame. Is there any other super chat? Super chat. The red hooded figure in the picture with the wolf is Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah, but who is it? What, like, who is it? It could be, that's interesting. I mean, is it just a picture or it, like, I suppose my question is it an existing picture or is that a picture they've had created for this? It could just be an existing picture, and the person that is Little Red Riding Hood might not mean anything. But interesting. Scott said, for those who don't know, Every Child Matters is for all the children who died in residential schools. May they rest in peace. What do you mean? Every child matters. What do you mean, bud? For those who don't know, the Every Child Matters is for all the children who died in residential schools in Canada. May they rest in peace. I feel like I'm missing a big something there. I don't know where that has come from. Has there been an Every Child Matters thing or something on screen, or is that just a statement? Or Scott, fill me in, Scott. Let me know where I'm missing some pieces on that one. Right, we've got ankle lock applied on Natalia, and Natalia taps, so a win for Ronda. Ronda beats Natalia. New York State of Mind said, "Revel what you are." Bray tweeted that in 2019. Wow. So, New York State of Mind. So, Bray tweeted that in 2019, you say? Right, let's try and fill this in. Ronda beats Natty. And now we've got Liv coming out. Liv has come walking out. That's interesting. Liv and Ronda going at it. Ronda kicks Liv in the midsection. Liv jams a baseball bat into Ronda. So Liv and Ronda brawling. Liv is on the shoulders of Ronda. Liv gets planted down. The baseball bat goes flying. It goes in the ring, actually. How did that get in the ring? Did it go on the floor and bounce into the ring? They're both trying to get towards the baseball bat. They've both got it. Tug of war at the moment. Liv gets thrown into the side of the ring. Ronda goes back against the barricade. Liv has got the baseball bat. She goes to swing it at Ronda, and Liv gets thrown over into the timekeeper's area. Ronda's got the baseball bat right now. So Liv is down in the timekeeper's area. Ronda with the baseball bat. What's she going to do with it? She's going to start swinging it at these security guards or something. They're telling her to calm down. Ronda threatening the security guards with it. She smirks, throws it away, starts walking off. Liv jumps up. Liv running towards Ronda. Ronda walking away. Liv jumps on Ronda. Ronda goes down with Liv. They're looking to pull these two apart. 27/10/2019, Bray tweeted, revel in what you are. Josh, the greatest one, said, the red hooded figure is a reference to Alexa Bliss and the wolf is protecting her. Harley said, Sean Ross Sapp has tweeted the Bray tweet that matches the sign. No, I believe you guys. 1911 is the area code for Philadelphia, says Alexa Bliss Gaming. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Bro Days, tell me what that mask was. I'm scared. What mask? The one that the wolf was wearing. We don't know that that's going to be a character or anything like this. We don't even know that that's been created specifically for this. I don't know that it has. Interesting though, isn't it? We're backstage. Again, keep an eye out on things. We've got Owens, we've got Drew. There's people standing around in the background, but they... these guys still standing and posing and waiting. Still got Maximum Male Models. Got Kevin Owens backstage. He's walking down a corridor. Bumps into Sami. Sami stands up. So Maximum Male Model still going for the record of longest pose, as we said. And Owens walking down the corridor. He bumps into Sami. I didn't catch what he said to Sami. Just going to watch this again. He says you need a new shirt. There's a 6-man tag match that's going to be happening thanks to the big brawl that happened earlier. Okay. We've had 4 QR codes with 2 more episodes to go. Wyatt 6, says John. Padge said, if you go to the source codes, it says drink more Ovaltine. I don't know what that has got to do with anything. Is that true? Is that true? I never know what's true anymore. I get told so many things. And obviously we don't get a chance to look into them all ourselves. But that would be great if that was true. Drink more Ovaltine. Source code says drink more Ovaltine. Okay, yeah, we've got a few people saying it now. Alexa Bliss once dressed as a pink bunny from A Christmas Story. In that film, the kid has to solve a code, and the answer is be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Husky Harris debuted May 11th, not August 6th, on SmackDown. If Bray... let's go into this chat. In the source code, there's a White Rabbit image that is named TS_S106 Simpsons Season 10, Episode 6, has a White Rabbit playing in it at 18:30. Jesus, what? In the source code. Oh, do you remember earlier when I said I didn't think this would be as deep? I didn't take into account the flipping source code. Yeah, that's mental. That's mental. So, source code. So the source code says drink more Ovaltine. Beam color function. Did someone mention 1911 is in there? Did someone mention about Simpsons being in there? Style sheet. I mean, I've got the image because I'm sure you'll want to see it yourselves. There's that one. Let's change this over to the new one. There it is. So the source code says drink more Ovaltine. Just having a look, seeing what else is in there. Far. Far. That's nice. Source code, function. I don't know, there's something meant to be in there about The Simpsons. Can't see it in this screenshot, to be honest. But I believe it. I believe that it's mentioned in there. Corvid said, don't be gullible. Anyone can edit source code. I think there's a chance they've put it in there. Nakamura is posing with maximum male models. Dingleberry said, source code says, drink more Ovaltine. I'm 90% sure one of Bray's old promos from 2015 he mentions Ovaltine. Didn't he say he hid messages? He hid a sentence in old promos. That is true. He hid a sentence in old promos. Let's go back. Hidden message, Bray Wyatt promos. Let's have a look and see. Was there something to do with Ovaltine in that? What makes you smile? I know you're listening. Let me in. We don't belong here. What happened to you was such a tragedy. Limbo is no place for a soul like yours. I believe I found the answer. The angel with burnt wings is waving you on home. So that is that's the hidden message. Nothing about Ovaltine in there. I do remember the angel with burnt wings. That was a massive conversation for a long time. People trying to decode what that meant. The angel with burnt wings. Jim Howson, shout out to you, said, I checked the source code. It contains 191123. What do we think that means? 191123. 1123? 1123? Feels like a time, doesn't it? Simpsons season 10 episode 6 is about Homer digging up his past. White Rabbit is played in the episode, said John Moxley. So what is that? Season 10 episode 6. White Rabbit is played. Oh, hello. We've got Imperium in the ring. Azazel is a demon from the movie Fallen. He sang Time Is On My Side. Bray sang that in the first promo in FCW. What? Azazel is in the movie Fallen. To see an Imperium. That's deep. That's deep. If that's true, $1998 film. Just looking at the cast, I can't see a character that's called Azazel. Sheamus making his way down. Zay Zell Fallen. Time on my side. I'm just going to Google that. Yeah. That is from the movie Fallen. Is that dude called Azazel though? If that is, that's really interesting. If that is, that's really interesting because that is from that promo. Does say Azazel. It also says that Supernatural season 3 episode 15. So if ever we see anything connected to like season 3 episode 15, apparently Azazel sings "Time Is on My Side" in that as well, or at least "Time Is on My Side" is in that episode. There's a Reddit article here. What is the connection between Azazel and "Time Is on My Side"? Both Fallen, the 1998 film, and Supernatural, season 3, episode 15, both reference Azazel and "Time Is on My Side." That's great. That's great. Because that is another link to that promo. Young Fatty, shout out to you, my friend. Really appreciate the support. Thank you for joining us. We've got Sheamus in the ring with... I've got to try and watch this show as well, so I'll do a review. Sheamus in the ring with Gunther. These two throwing down. Knee strike there by Sheamus. We've got Imperium ganging up on Sheamus. So Sheamus stepping in there with all of Imperium, but they're mugging him. And right now, it looks like it's going to be a powerbomb by Gunther. Sheamus getting laid out. So Imperium brutalize Sheamus. Mitchell said, my ad for you is about hotels. Maybe a rabbit stayed at a white hotel. Maybe the Grand Floridian at Disney. Walt Disney is the White Rabbit. That's food for thought. Sheamus said, is that all you've got? Is that all you've got? Saying you've got to do better than that. Joy Marie said, good day, Days. I do not know if you knew that Antonio Inoki has passed away. Unless the tweet I saw minutes ago is wrong. No, that news sadly breaking around the same time as the White Rabbit stuff. So White Rabbit has been obviously the focus at the moment, but we do need to talk about Antonio Inoki. Antonio Inoki setting up New Japan Pro Wrestling, one of the most important Japanese wrestlers. I mean, for me, Antonio Inoki is either the first or the second when it comes to most important. In fact, he might be the most important Japanese wrestler ever, because the only other name I would put there, would be Ricky Dozan. And Ricky Dozan, I believe, is actually not Japanese. I think he's Korean. But Ricky Dozan kind of helped popularize wrestling in Japan. And he had a lot of students and his students were like the Giant Baba and Antonio Inoki. Giant Baba went on to form All Japan Wrestling, and Inoki went on to form New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I mean, New Japan? I mean, who doesn't know New Japan? That's Antonio Inoki. And he's already in the WWE Hall of Fame. I mean, it's just a massive name. He actually won the WWE Championship, Antonio Inoki. He beat Bob Backlund. But because it happened at a time where there was no internet, and like, you know, they didn't need to tell people about it, it's not official. So Bob Backlund went to Japan, dropped the title, won it back before he came back. And so when he came back, he was still champion. So they just didn't tell anyone that he had lost it and won it back. They just pretended it never happened. So it's not, sadly, it's not classed as an official championship reign, even though there's like seemingly there's no reason as to why it can't be. But it's not. So he's not regarded as a former WWE champion, even though he did win the belt and carry the belt for a little bit. Crossover Boxing said, I tagged you in a tweet from Bray in 2019. He said angels with burnt wings in 2019. Thank you. Andrew said, did you know Bray had Mad Hatter hats? Yeah, look, wow, they've just got that information about Antonio Inoki on screen, actually. They won't be able to do any more than that. Oh, Corey Graves has just mentioned it. A controversial reign that was never officially acknowledged. In all fairness, if Triple H wants to change that, he can change that. He can acknowledge it. We can go back and acknowledge it. We should acknowledge it. What does it matter to Bob Backlund? I mean, it would take away his like 4-year title reigns. He'd have 2 different reigns rather than 1 long reign. But Antonio Inoki is just such a legend that I think he deserves to be a part of that WWE Championship lineage. So I'd be totally down for that being changed. Tahal said, Days, hope all is well. Love the streams. Thanks for following me on Twitter. Keep up the good work. I appreciate that, my friends. Yeah, I'm always happy to do that. I'm always happy to, you know, people that are supporting the channel, supporting me. You know, if a little follow back's nothing, is it? So I'm always happy to do that. So if there is anyone watching and I haven't followed you back and you want me to, drop me a message just saying, do you mind following me back? And it's never a problem. As long as I see the message, of course. Jaden said, The Fiend debuted on August 11th, 2019. The Fiend debuted on August 11th, 2019. That's interesting. That's very interesting. It wouldn't be written that way, though, would it? 1911. It would be 1119. It would be 1119, which is the clock, I suppose. Because the clock, I believe, is 1119. So, yeah, I believe, I suppose it would be that. I've just got more, I've got an image here of even more source codes. I was just looking to see the Simpson thing that's in there, but honestly, I mean, I'm just looking through reams of flipping letters and characters, and I believe it's there. There's been enough people talking about it to make me believe that it's in there. Not jumping out at me, though. It does say season 10, episode 6 has a white rabbit at 1830. So they've found it. Yeah, it must be in there somewhere. A big thank you to everyone sending stuff through. If you zoom in on the newest clue, there is a white rabbit logo at the bottom of the site. The file name is TSS10E6 Simpsons Season 10, episode 6, White Rabbit from Jefferson Airplane is in that episode. God, isn't that crazy? The file name for that? I mean, we're going into file names now. God. File names. File names. Bailey is making her way out. I got the power. I got the pain. All right, let's retweet that. Let's send that out. Simpsons, White Rabbit. Let's retweet that out. Right, Darcy wanted me to go. Here we go. This is old news now. That's fine. Oh, I got sent. Okay. There's no way I can start answering DMs, but I am just going to answer this one. Right. Bang, bang, bang. In the file name, there's a number. This is from a minute ago. In the file name of the White Rabbit image, there's a phone number. Jesus. God. 855-489-5099. It plays a message backwards. When played, it says, Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romero. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into the eternal sorrow. What the flip? Hang on. This is the most mental thing I've ever heard. Yeah, that's crazy. Apparently a phone number, if you want to call it, I'll read it again. 855-489-5099. I'll read it again. 855. I don't know if there's like an area code. I don't know if you have area codes. 855-489-5099. I've retweeted it. Bailey has got some big cannons. In the Bailey segment, someone in the background with Firefly Funhouse outfits. I've got experience in coding. If you need me to read line by line, explain what is going on, says Mohammed. I ain't going to read it out, but it's all playing out on Twitter. I mean, it's moving at such a pace, like the internet wrestling community is like a flipping supercomputer. You don't even need to do too much. You can just sit back and watch everyone decode it. Shotzi versus Bailey is what we've got right now. I was going to call it, but I can't remember it. You missed the tank return. Well, that's good. She's wearing different attire as well, Shotzi. She's got like chaps on, which I don't remember her wearing before. Well, I can't remember what she used to wear, actually. Now I'm trying to think. But I think it was just shorts and like fishnet tights, wasn't it? But now she's wearing like chaps, which is a bit different. Kieran said the number is a scam. Well, maybe it is a scam, but that's That's come from Sean Ross Sapp. Sean Ross Sapp's called that number. In fact, he's got an audio of it. Can you hear this? Can you hear that? Actually, I didn't even know he had audio of it. You have to play it. Yeah, I'm just calling about my pizza. I ordered a pizza. Yeah, I wanted cheese. Yeah, no, I wanted cheese, extra cheese, but it's coming. There's no extra. Can I speak to your manager, please? Yeah. No, can I speak to your manager? Because I wanted extra cheese, and it's come, and it's not. Is this the manager? This is the same guy, isn't it? You're the same as before. Yeah, no, he literally just said that. He just said, that's exactly what he just said. I don't, is that the company line, like what you're saying? I don't know what you're saying, but listen, I ordered a pizza. Yeah, I don't think you're not getting this. I ordered a pizza. I wanted extra cheese. Right, this is like the 4th time you've said this to me. Do you know what? Forget it. Forget it. This is the last time I used Domino's. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so that is it. But basically, when you play that backwards, and you actually get what was in the tweet. So that's what is said. But when you play it backwards, you get Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romero. So what is that? Belair. Does that spell Belair? Oh, it spells Belair. It spells Belair. Not Bianca. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romero is Belair. Oh my God, Will Smith, are you safe? Stay safe, Will Smith. Stay safe. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. In my mind, this is all about Will Smith at the Oscars because he played the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and when he slapped Chris Rock, that was him entering the city of woe, and that was his eternal sorrow. So, cracked it. Sorted that one out. Bray Wyatt is going after Will Smith. Boom. You are welcome. Nip. So, oh my God, I need to write this down. Bailey has beaten Shotzi. Nip. Loving it. Bailey looking to go underneath the ring. Bailey beats Shotzi. Days Azazel. How do you pronounce his name? Azazel is a figure. He appears a lot in movies and TV. It's very common, much like Lucifer. I've never heard of him. Never heard of him. But then saying that, I like nice shows. Do you know what I mean? Like cuddle your dog, things like that. Drink More Ovaltine is a reference to the movie A Christmas Story, says Jim. The boy in the story is excited to decode a message, but the message is, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Oh my God, here's Belair. Here's Belair. Oh, stay safe, Belair. No. Bailey's attacked. Perhaps Bailey's behind this. An anagram for Belair is Bray. An anagram for Belair is Bray. She's got her up on her shoulders. She's going to look to KOD her onto that ladder. But no joy. Bianca saves Shotzi. Bianca saved Daddy from the ladder gator, says Jada. It's the call is coming from inside the house. It's a Christmas story. He also dresses as a pink bunny. Oh. We're backstage with Maximum Male Models. They're still posing. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Oh, God. Max Dupree ruined it. This ain't for me anymore. And quite frankly, I don't think it ever was for me. Max Dupree has left Maximum Male Models and he ruined their pose down. Takes his belt off. Not for me. Doubt it ever was. So, main event is going to be Kevin Owens, Johnny Gargano, Drew McIntyre against Alpha Academy and Austin Theory. LA Knight. LA Knight is back. Alpha and Theory versus Drew, KO, and someone else that I can't remember. Six-man tag. How are people so fast? I'm still vibing to the QR song. I know, man. Some of us just like to take our time and enjoy the finer things in life. Some people are just all about cracking the code. Not enjoying the journey, just cracking the code. I agree. I'd be with you. If I wasn't streaming right now, where I would be is I would have downloaded the music and I would be making a dance remix of it right now. And I would have solved 0 clues. I would have solved nothing. In fact, I would probably still be looking at that picture of the pig going, it's a picture of the pig. What? It's just a pig. I don't know how to get to a source code. And then if I did tap it going, come on, do so, and then it started doing that, then I would be well into the music, I agree. The images switching indicate the letters of the Morse code. The images switching. What do you mean? What do you mean? Do they switch in time with the Morse code, or do you mean that like the first letter of what the image is spells the thing? That would be interesting, wouldn't it? That'd be interesting. Bray Wyatt said in a promo for "You Are the Way to the City of Woe," says Niall. LSW said, White Rabbit isn't Bray. It's the friends we made along the way. Love it. In the Sean Ross Sapp tweet of the source code and phone number, each capital letter spells Belair, says Big Dog 3145. Yeah, we did get that eventually. I was what I like to call super slow with cracking that. And then we established that that is connected to Will Smith. Probably not. For some reason, the QR code didn't catch for me. How do I watch the video? Well, I mean, if you do scan it, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. Did I get sent a picture of the QR code? Hopefully I did. Someone would have sent it me. Someone would have been nice and tagged me in it. They'd better. Otherwise, I'm going to feel so let down. Yes. Kieran, shout out to you. Kieran sent it me. Oh, and so did Liv and Zelina Stan. So a couple of people sent it over. Legends. So if you didn't catch it, then hang on. Make it a bit smaller. Oh, let me make it a bit smaller again. There you go. What's that? What's that next to it? What's that white thing? What's this? Was that there? Or is that just from someone's phone? What the flip's that? It's like the moon. What's that? Who did I get this from? I got that from Liv and Zelina Stan. Yeah, oh my God, it's on Kieran's as well. What's that? I've been sent this picture by two separate people, unless they've both got it from the same source. They might have got it from the same source, but I've been sent it from two separate people, and it's got a white dot next to it, so I don't know if that's anything. Might not be. Can you see me in the chat? Yes. Hello. Theory sucks. Is that Jupiter? Yes. Drops of Jupiter by train, and rabbits go on trains. I don't know, that could be Jupiter, actually. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird, isn't it? Well, the whole flipping thing's weird. I don't know. That's the most redundant thing to say in the world, isn't it? Oh, that's strange. Everything about this is strange. I quote tweeted it from someone, said LZS. The Morse code is Zel. I still can't pronounce it. Azazel. Azazel. I'm never gonna get it. Azazel. Roman and Logan next week. How long we got left? 15 minutes. Niall said, great, I'm not going to go to sleep now. I'm going to be too busy humming this new tune. It's a banger, mate. It's a flipping banger. He's just dropped the biggest tune of 2022 at the end of, bang near the start of October. Wrestler with Andy said, what show do you think Bray will be on? Raw, SmackDown, or both? He might float between the two for a little while so that they can just get, as much out of this as possible. Look, I'm still desperately trying to keep an open mind. I'm still desperately trying to cling on to keeping an open mind. But just everything's. They're doing a pretty rubbish job now of making you think it's anyone other than Bray. I think they were doing well at the start, but now it's just flipping Bray, innit? Just everything connects to Bray. It looks to me like what you would see a messenger tab on an Android. I don't know. I've got Android, and I've never seen anything like that, but could be. Abandon or hope ye who enter here. Manny sending that through. Belair, Philly, Extreme Rules. Another link to Philly. Yeah. That makes more sense. That makes more sense than it being. So, Jeremiah, shout out to you. That does definitely make more sense than it being Will Smith. Well done. I just got home. Why are there so many Raw superstars here, says Omaran. Don't know, to be honest, bud. And honestly, I can't even say I've noticed. It's been full-on White Rabbit again. I tend to say, not often, but a few times I'll say something and I'll look back and go, oh, that was a bit silly. And I think, do you remember earlier in this stream where I was like, oh, I don't think this clue is as deep as the last one? Do you remember when I said that? I mean, I'm going to put that down to me being young and naive, to be honest. I'm going to put that down to the fact that I'm an older, wiser person now than I was about an hour ago, because that was a real stupid thing to say, wasn't it? Because this thing has taken up the whole show again and is proven to be just as deep as the last one. So, silly me. Silly me. It's probably because of the hurricane, said Mr. DXE. That's a good point. Have we mentioned that Revel in What You Are is a Bray quote from 2019? Yes. Yeah, a tweet, I believe, from 2019. Yes. Images switch indicating each letter. The audio is in separate switch spells. The image switches indicates each letter. Yeah, the only bit I don't understand about that is, do you mean that it's like beep, 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 beep? Like, you know, the image switch with every beep? Or are you saying that the image indicates each letter? So have the images got anything to do with revealing the letters? Can you look at the images and find the word Azazel without even... I doubt you can. I doubt it. I'm guessing the images just kind of change on every beep. I'm guessing that's what you mean. But it would be cool if, like, each image, like, somehow connected to what the message was, if you know what I mean. Like, the actual letters of the message. Corbin is a lone wolf. And when he was Happy Corbin, said he was shopping in Bel Air. Hang on, what? He said he was shopping in Bel Air. Alexa had a QR code on her shirt. Hang on, what? What do you mean? Hang on, slow that down. What do you mean Alexa had a QR code on her shirt? Alexa's not been on the show tonight. Well, she has. I ain't seen her. So when did she have a QR code on her shirt? And why did we never scan it? And why is that not a thing more people do? Remember when Jericho returned with the creepy images? Hopefully this is not something similar. I am keeping an open mind because we have been down those roads before and it could also be a swerve. But I think there's so much in here that's Bray and Bray connected and connected to old promos. And there's so much now. It's just overwhelming that, like, I don't know. If this is not Bray, then there's just so much to say that it is. If they've trolled the fans, that's just, I don't know how it's going to play out. If this turns out to be Corbin after all of this, and he comes out going, "What, you thought it was someone else?" and he comes out laughing his head off, and that will be dirty because they will have really used Bray in a way. Do you know what I mean? They would have really used him and his history and his promos, and it would be dirty. It would be dirty. I think you can get away with it if you just hint at it. Do you know what I mean? If there was like a hint at Carrion and a hint at someone else, but there was a hint at Bray as well, and he was hinted, you can get away with that. Because you've hinted a few people. So is it Carrion? Is it Finn? Is it Edge? Is it Bray? Is it Alexa? I think that's fine. I think you can get away with that. There's too much now. You can't get away with this. There's too much. There's too many links to old promos. There's too many links to things. And if it turns out they're trolling, I think they've took it too far. And I think the anger is going to be very, very real. I think if people got angry before, you're not going to like me for saying this, but that would have been on you. If you got angry before that it wasn't Bray, I think that was not WWE's fault, because the first clue in particular had like the hourglass in there, which hinted to Carrion. It had the demon word, which hinted towards Finn Balor. And there was a few little things in there that you could look at. You know, the purple crosses, which is Finn Balor's current logo, is the purple cross. So, again, yes, there was definitely like a Bray vibe to it, but there was hints to other people. So, as I said, I think you can get away with that one. People would have been disappointed, but I think that would have been acceptable. For me, that would have been acceptable. Not acceptable now. Too much to do with Bray now. Now it would not be acceptable. Anyone watching in character, I think they just said White Rabbit during a news slam, said Doppelganger. Drew attack Theory with a Claymore to transition into a KO stunner, said Richard. Michael said, it's obviously going to be Bray. We will riot if it's not Bray. Well, don't riot. Don't riot. You might hurt yourself. It's not worth that. Bray wouldn't want that. He wouldn't want you hurting yourself. Wan said, let's read what Wan says, because that just ties in with what we've said. Just stop wrestling days. You don't need to still keep an open mind. The answer has been right in front of us right from the start. It's Bray. Only a creative genius can come up with something like this. No one else. Stop fighting it, my friend. No, is my answer to that. I'm still keeping an open mind. Hang on, what's this?
Alpha, India, Romeo. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romeo. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romeo. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Bravo, Echo, Lima, Alpha, India, Romeo. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Bravo, Echo, Lima.
Oh my. OMG. It's Dean Ambrose. Yeah, do you know, that was creepy, wasn't it? I was sat here and I was like, this must be like what it's like when you find a ghost. You know, when you go into like a haunted house and you've got one of those kind of tape recorders and you press record and then you like, something happens, there's a noise and you go, let's check the tape recorder. And you go running back to the tape recorder and it's just sat there on the side. And you're like, I did hear a noise. Hang on, let me hit play.
Alpha, India, Romeo. I am the way into the city of woe. I am the way into eternal sorrow. Bravo, Echo, Lima.
Man, you'd freak, wouldn't you? I'd freak. I'm freaking now. I'm freaking now and I know I'm safe. Oh no, am I? Stephen Tolliver says, do you know anyone who has Jeff Series 1?
And his name is
Jeff. Do you know anyone that's got Jeff Series 1?
And his name is Jeff.
Series 1? I don't, but I put it out there for you. So if anyone owns Jeff Series 1,
and his name is Jeff.
Series 1, Get in touch with Steven. Steven's after Jeff series 1. Not series 2. It was a rubbish series. Alpha Lima Delta is in the theme song for Shield. Also, that's clearly 2 people speaking. Ooh. Right, so I think a victory for Drew McIntyre. Read my comments, says William. Please. It's Bray. The way he says brother, it's Bray's dialect. It's faster at the end at brother. That third is just a little faster than the bra. Days, Alexa Bliss used to wear a shirt saying Little Miss Bliss. The QR code had Little Red Riding Hood. And Alexa had red streaks in her hair before. Could that be a connection? Yes. That would need more looking into, to be honest. But yeah, that could be a connection. Read my comments, says Jay for life. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but it's got to be Hornswoggle. Right, guys, we are done. I need to go. I need to do a video on all this amazing stuff that you lot and the internet has found. Get it all into one video. So we'll do that. And I also need to do the review. Review is set up for half an hour's time. I've pushed it back. So I understand that maybe a few more people won't be able to join us like usual. But obviously, we've got to get this White Rabbit video done. So I'm going to go and do that. Get the White Rabbit video done. There is a review, but it is delayed. So, right, I'm going to shoot off. Thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate the support as always. We will be back tomorrow for UFC. We are back in half an hour for a review. We're back, I think, Sunday for an Extreme Rules prediction stream. And obviously Monday for Raw. So there's plenty coming up over the weekend. There is a stream on Sunday. There is a UFC stream tomorrow. There is a review stream later. We are back for the Raw watch along. But yeah, off to do White Rabbit. So awesome. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everyone throwing in their thoughts and everything about White Rabbit as well and hitting me up with comments and everything. So yeah, massively appreciate it. And I will be, as I said, back in about half an hour's time. So bye for now.